Hey there, how's it going, everybody? Today is a bit of a shorter video. It's kind of an interesting video. I don't know how interesting my other videos are, but this one will stick out a bit different. It's actually not as cold as it looks in the video. It's about 35 Fahrenheit, maybe 1 to 2 degrees Celsius. It's definitely cold outside. It definitely doesn't feel good. But I think the main problem, with my outside gym today and without trying to work out today outside, is that it's raining. It's raining. It's already snowed a bunch. There's ice everywhere. The ice is melting, and everything else is melting as well. You can see me there trying to pull some ice off of that parallel bar. Some of the ice would come off pretty well, and then other stuff like the low bar, you'll see me get to here shortly, I couldn't hardly get the ice to come off of, and I don't know, maybe it was stuck to the grip tape or what was going on, but I decided I was going to go outside and work out, or at least try to work out. And other than the melting ice and the constant rain, it wasn't that bad. Like, I had to kind of shovel some of the snow and ice away. There's a bit of a pan around the area. It's very pretty outside, but it's really nasty and ugly conditions to work out in. I think there's water on the lens of my camera, which is what's making the clip look like that. It was an absolute downpour of rain. But I'm doing the 6-rep warm-up. I think today I hit the front lever a little bit, I hit the human flags a little bit, and back lever just a bit as well. In general, I took things a lot easier, mostly because I was trying to not slip and fall. Also I didn't want to hurt myself, because I had a lot of distractions. I'm soaking wet, I'm trying to keep my hands and my toes warm. But it was nice just to be, at least just a bit active. I think on my working sets today, I normally go for that 12-rep range. But today, I think I only done like 5 or 6. Like I said, I was taking it easy. Didn't want to get too carried away. Look at the water on my back there. You can see the rainfall as well. It's just very ugly outside, and hopefully tomorrow's going to be a rest day, so I'll have tomorrow off. But hopefully after that, when I go for skill day, hopefully it'll be nicer outside, and hopefully I'll be able to hit some of the things a little better, that I would have liked to have hit today, but I didn't really get the opportunity to. Okay, I really wanted to practice the front lever quite a bit, and the human flag progressions. I still got those a bit, but not quite as much as I wanted to. Here you can see me trying to get some of that ice off the low bar. Some of it came off, but I definitely couldn't get all of it to come off, or at least enough to be able to grab that bar securely. And I'll use that as the excuse as to why I couldn't do things as good as I wanted to today. I'm pretty much standing in a water puddle there, as the ice melts. But like I was saying, you don't always have to do your best. You don't always have to set records or break your own PRs. Sometimes it's good just to be active, just to go through the movements. Compared to sitting inside and doing nothing. When I first started working out today, I was very cold. I was wet. Like, it wasn't that cold outside, compared to some of the days I've worked out, but it was just very wet. And my hands were wet, my feet were wet, and I think that was what made it so hard to keep temperature. But after I got to moving and moving around and using my muscles, I actually warmed up quite a bit. Particularly after I started doing the working sets. I noticed my body made a lot of heat during those moments. And, I eventually got to where my toes weren't numb, my hands weren't numb, where everything felt pretty normal. But that was about time for me to go inside. So it took quite a while for me to get the heat going. Here's a bit of human flag practice. Can't really hang on to that low bar very well. There's ice right there. I'm trying to rub off, but it's not coming off. But everything felt, other than weather conditions, everything felt pretty good. Like I said in my last video, I'm definitely going to start taking things a bit easier, focusing on techniques more. And I think that's the long run secret to calisthenics training, is to take things slow and master techniques before you try to progress to a harder, more challenging, more difficult progression. There, I think I only hit like 4 or 5 reps. Then on this is the working sets now. I think on this one, this is the second working set, first exercise. I'm just hitting a little bit of time under tension, just going through a few reps, practicing technique. Like I was saying, not trying to set any records today or break any of my own personal records. I went through this workout very fast. I didn't rest long enough between sets, but I just kind of wanted to get out and go through things, and then get back inside and clean myself up. Here's that human flag building block that I was talking about. It's the human flag kick-ups. It really helps because it's not, depending on how long you hold it when you kick up, you can make it easy or very challenging. But it's really great exercise, I think, to help you practice engaging and disengaging your scapulas on the respective sides. I think this is a really great building block, especially if you're new to human flag training. Give this one a practice, and just kind of kick up real gently and let the momentum carry you up, and then don't try to hold it, but try to have your muscles resist the fall. Just slow down your fall a little bit, and over time that'll actually build quite a bit of strength in your core and your lats and shoulders. Today was definitely a day that really made me want to have my indoor calisthenics setup finished, but between school and YouTube, I don't put a whole lot of time into YouTube, but it does take up some time for sure. But between school, mostly, I don't have a whole lot of time to do the things I would like to do in life. But my philosophy is grind hard now so that I don't have to grind as hard later. And we'll see how that pays off 10 years down the road. But we're coming up on the end of today's workout. I managed to hit a pullover there a few seconds ago. I think I scraped some of the ice off with my core. I felt pretty lean today, but I definitely have some body fat to lose. Hopefully the weather will clear up a bit, and I can work out more and work on losing that body fat. But if you have any questions or comments, please leave those below. Happy training, and stay warm. See you guys.